Okay, so in this video I'm going to be trying to restore this creasing hammer. It'll be something used by a bricklayer or mason. This hammer was made by Pardoe Co Ltd, which was a British tool making company, and they were founded in 1869, I believe. So the first stage here I'm doing is going through with the sand pads and just trying to take some of that rust off the handle. So I started with a 100 grit pad and I basically worked my way up through from 100 to 280 and then up to 800. And here you can see me just having away at it, just trying to get in where I could. Obviously it's quite rusted, it's just trying to really get the rust off so it no longer looks rusty. It's just going for rustic because obviously there's still going to be a bit of pitting, and I don't think it's wise to try and get rid of all the pitting. You'd just be taking too much away, and well, it'd be like pitting against the wind, to be honest. So it's better to be sensible and get it to look nice. So yeah, you can see I'm just going at it different angles, trying to get to it, just holding it in that little pair of a little clamp on one of those little keeper tables. Not ideal, you're better off with a proper table with a good heavier vise, but it seems to work okay. Now that hammer I picked up for £3 in a little marketplace today, and got £3 for the hammer and the chisel. You can see I was just tapping it down. I'm using inertia to get the handle back in. Not sure if it showed on the first thing, but the handle was a little bit loose, but I was thinking I might have to re-wedge it, but a couple of taps with a mallet there from behind really tightened it up. It went well. Now I'm just trying to get into some of the nooks and crannies with the with 100 grit, that is. There again, it's just to take off other little bits there where I couldn't get in with the pad when it was on the drill. Now you could, if you were using, instead of using a drill, you could use an angle grinder with those pads. That's what they're actually designed for, but I did not do that. I used the drill, a little bit more control. If you are using one on the drill, you have to run the drill in reverse, otherwise the way the thread works, it will keep coming off. Now you can see I'm working on the handle. I'm using a cabinet scraper. I've got this one and I've got the one with the handle. They both do pretty much the same job. You can see here now I'm again in the one in the handle. Careful not to take too much off. It is taking a fine shaving off, and it's just to sort of roll back the years and get it back to how it would have been. So yeah, I'm just going at it there. There was a few bits of paint on the handle. I'm not sure if I showed that on the first clip of how the hammer looked as I bought it, but yeah, and then you can see I'm just trying to get in to the more detailed bits just below the hammerhead. Again, just being a bit delicate in there. It was actually a kind of lattice shaped marking in there, which I was trying not to damage too much. I don't know if that's part of Pardoe & Co's tool markings, or if it was just on there, or I'm not sure what that was, but yeah, I was trying to be delicate there. So yeah, I'm just using a scraper on the ends here. Now on the end there wasn't a chamfer. It was kind of straight edge, and that was causing the timber to split a little bit, so it's always better to have a chamfer. You'll see in a little bit that I actually do put a chamfer and sort of round that end over to make it a bit more resilient against things like that sort of chipping of the wood. But for now you can see me just going away with the scraper and yeah, really going at it, trying to bring it back. Here you can see the hammer now up and close, and now it's time to just go over with a bit of 120 grit sandpaper, and yeah. Next, what I've done here is I went and I got a Shinto rasp, which is a lovely handy bit of kit. If you don't know one, you should get one. And yeah, like I say, I'm just trying to work a bit of a chamfer, a bit of a round over into the end there, just to stop it splitting, and yeah, just keep working away at it till you get the shape you want. Yeah, just change the angle, and it's a bit difficult doing it in the clamp like that. It's easier to be able to put your pressure down on it like that. But yeah, worked away at it until I got it where I wanted, and then over with the 120 sandpaper just to really smooth it out, get the shape that I wanted, and make it smooth. You can still see bits of sawdust coming off there as it's being shaped. And then the next stage after this, what I like to do is just try and use a bit of sugar soap, which you'll see coming up. So here you can see it up close, and now time to give it a bit of a clean with the sugar soap. I was hoping to try and clean out where the in the grain, I could see bits of dirt get stuck in the side of the grain. Sometimes you can clean it out with a bit of sugar soap, and it avoids the need to try and sand it away, because you don't want to take too much away. There's a big spot where there was some sort of dirt that penetrated, maybe an oil or something. I couldn't get that out when I was trying to, and like I say, I didn't want to keep sanding it back or scraping it back, because I would have just taken too much of the wood off. The handle itself I think is beech, not 100% sure, but I think it's beech. It's quite a tight grain on it, quite a straight grain, so that's why I was thinking it's possibly beech, but I don't know for certain. Yeah, and then after I'd given it a clean with the sugar soap, obviously time to get some linseed oil on there, or you can use any finish you like, but here you can see I just put the linseed oil onto the end grain at the top of the handle, or the bottom of the handle I should say, and just working it in, put it on that, it will soak into that end grain, but then also you can work it down, gives you a bit of control over it. And you don't use too much linseed oil, or you don't waste too much. It gives you a chance to just put a little bit on the top there, let it drip down, and then you can kind of work it in. It's a good way to get it on there. And I've got rubber gloves on because I actually like getting the oil on my hands. And here, after letting it dry for a while, you can see the end result, which I think looks quite nice. You can see, like I say, you can still see a bit of pitting on the head there, but it's nice. You can now see the maker's mark on it. Yeah, I think it looks nice, and it will be useful, I think. You can also see the little chisel that I bought as well. That was what came for £3 there. So that and the chisel, and there's the final shot. Hope you enjoyed.